In the club today, we've got Action Sports Jax sports director Brent Martineau. The Athletics, Mike Silver, stops by around 1:20 p.m. Eastern. Appreciate him hopping on at 10 a.m., 10:20 a.m. Pacific Coast time. And finally, Jacksonville Jaguars DB, yes, live. Jarrian Jones at 1:35 p.m. You know you're not going to want to miss that one. Did I mention it's the season debut, the series debut of Club 904? Let's roll the tape. Ah, yes, indeed. A new era has begun. Welcome to the club. Club 904 is officially open and live. I'm your host, Mia O'Brien. Excited to be with you guys each and every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. We also will do a special live show at 9:04 p.m. on Sunday nights following each and every Jaguars game. If you're in the club, give us a like, give us a comment. We are syndicated live on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 channel. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure you send us a comment. You send us a tweet if you're watching on Twitter, like I see a lot of you guys. We'd love to give you a shout out. Shout out to Cold Day TV, Contract Season, my friend Marcel up in Cape Cod, all hanging out here in Club 904. Some housekeeping before we bring in our first guest and we introduce today's topic. So, first and foremost, let's start with this. What exactly is Club 904? Many of you have asked, many of you have wondered, where exactly is Mia? Where will Mia's Jaguars content be housed? So, let's start with that. I obviously have moved on to a position with ESPN Radio. I am in my initial year with the Walt Disney Company. It's been an awesome time so far. I've gotten a chance to host with 15 different co-hosts from around the country, which has been amazing. And it's actually, I feel, enhanced my ability to report on the Jacksonville Jaguars and bring you guys nuanced discussion each and every week. Of course, still on the beat with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so everyone asked, where will the Jaguars content be housed? If you're watching live right now, you can see on the bottom of your screen, I have launched my own personal website for my notebooks for the scoops. It is called the O'Brien NFL Notebook. Encourage you guys to subscribe, take a free 7-day trial while you're there, and let's have some fun. That is where, if you saw my notebooks during training camp that are in the written form, those will be housed there. We'll do live Q&A if you're a friend of the pod, if you select that tier, and we'll have a whole heck of a lot of fun. This show, again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, live, interactive. Leave a comment. Go back and listen to it on demand. Leave a comment there. It will be housed on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 streaming channels for YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, also streamed on my Twitter at Mia O'Brien TV. And then you'll also be able to download it after the pod wherever you get your podcasts. What are we going to do here? Nuanced, specific Jags talk, some of which you guys remember from a previous iteration of some programs I've done. And I think that all the reporting in the last 7 years, yes, almost 7 years that I've been here, has reflected that. That's what we're going to do, but we're going to do it in a chill, conversational, a lot of great guests. I want to bring all the friends of the pod into the club so you guys can perhaps get a different look at your favorite hometown team. Again, I am running this show. This is the Mia O'Brien production. I'm very grateful to Brent and Action Sports Jax that they will be syndicating this program. I know that's kind of a fancy word for some, and I totally understand that. If you know Josh Pate of the college football universe, what he has done in which he has built his show, and now it is syndicating with On3, Yahoo. He's even making some guest spots with my friends at ESPN on the television side. That's what we're going for here. In 2025, it is so important to be everywhere. It is important both in terms of multimedia platform. It's important to own your content. And it's also important to have a say in what sort of conversations we are having, and that, you have a say in what Jacksonville Jaguars content is out there. And so excited to be re-entering the space with you, and excited to bring in our first guest. Who's in the club right now? In the club right now is the one, the only Action Sports Jax sports director, Brent Martineau. Brent, our first guest in Club 904. How are you? Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, good to be here. Congrats, Mia, on getting this thing rolling. And I'm probably the least cool guy you'd want in a club. But hey, we'll start the bar low. and then hopefully you can raise the floor going
We've
forward.
got DJ Dell and D Tripp in the club, and I know they're big fans of yours, so I think they would agree. You are ready for this club, Brent. I think Club 904 was built for you.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Cool show you got lined up, obviously with Jarrian and Mike Silver, and here we go, NFL season, week number 1, and the Jags in Carolina in what feels like a Super Bowl.
You just got done hosting the Brent and Austin show here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 channels. And so, of course, be sure that you guys listen to Brent and Austin from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern each and every Monday through Friday. So I know you guys just hit the Jaguars topic very hot and heavy. But what we're going to do on Club 904, Brent, is each and every week, we're going to have a theme for each episode. So today's theme, today's big question, I will be asking all of our guests in the club. The 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars are blank, and you can take that in whichever direction you want, and the conversation will follow from there.
All right, I'm going to go with physical. And I'm saying this because I'm trusting everybody who's told me it. I don't know that, but I hope for that, and I think they believe in that. Anyone you talk to in the Jags building, whether it's Tony Baselli, James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, those are the folks that started with that. Obviously, run the ball, stop the run. They saw football in a certain way. They wanted to be able to execute it. Well, then you talk to the coaches now in production meetings over the preseason and also the players, and they are echoing that same thing. Even a sit down recently with Trevor Lawrence, he notices it. I question how much you can notice it in the preseason, given the CBA rules and also the short little stints we get in the preseason from the starters. But overall, they think they are more physical. And this is a football team that, quite frankly, couldn't get a yard when they needed it the last 3 years under Doug Peterson. For the most part, I think it's the number one thing they have to correct. If they can get 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, gain a yard when they need it, I think their success on offense will go way up. Will it skyrocket? Not so sure. But then you can get your play caller into his rhythm. You can get your quarterback into his rhythm. You can get your other weapons to football. So it starts there for me. I think they're more physical. I'm being told they're more physical. I hope they're more physical.
I probably should have led with that. In addition to being the sports director of the flagship TV station of your Jacksonville Jaguars, Brent was the sideline reporter for those 3 preseason games. So had the opportunity to be in those production meetings, get to know Liam Cohen, I'm assuming a little bit more, some of those other coaches and players who are new to Jacksonville. When it comes to that word physical, is it just offensive and defensive line? Because I want to dive into each of those position groups because obviously they lend themselves to that word. But I think that it can exist in other position groups as well.
I think actually the one that you hear it the most about, you want to hear it about the offensive and defensive line, but the one you hear the people are excited about is actually in the receiving core. I think the recent addition of Tim Patrick, we know that obviously coaches who want to run the ball want their receivers to block as well, but you have to be a willing blocker, and not everybody's a willing blocker from the wide receiver position. And we're getting pretty good reviews that these guys are good. We know Tim Patrick's pretty good at that. So one of the reasons they brought him in late is to do that. And Trevor Lawrence told me in the last couple of days, said that's the difference in this offense he feels is that when those receivers block, you go from a 3 or 4 yard run, which could be a successful run from a down and distance standpoint to get you in the right place. But those get sprung for the explosive plays. And so that's what they believe that this offense will do because of the willingness to block on the outside. I think the other position to keep an eye on here, where people are just going to overlook, with Evan Ingram gone, I don't think anybody's really looking at Brenton Strange. But the one thing they do have with Brenton Strange is a guy who can do both. He's got good hands, he can catch the football, and he can also, do your traditional run blocking from the tight end spot. So I think that's something to watch. And not to say Evan Ingram couldn't block, but he blocked from a different way than your normal tight end. He's got more of that move tight end in him. And Brenton Strange has a little more traditional tight end, which I think will allow Liam Cohen in this offense to run some things that will be less predictable, if you will, for opposing defenses.
Saw some new friends who have joined the club, Club 904. Thanks to Julian listening in from the United Kingdom. Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax sports director, joining us now as we begin the series and begin a Tuesday program. And Brent, when we discuss that word physical with regards to the receiving threats, I think that then there's an immediate look at, they're going to be running more 2 tight ends. They're going to be running more 12 personnel. Maybe they'll bring extra linemen, much like the Detroit Lions, who, of course, is GM Brad Holmes, also learned at the foot of Les Snead, like James Gladstone, like Liam Cohen. Do you think that, again, that goes into that word physical of it means you're going to have more blockers? Or on the flip side, does it simply mean compared to, oh boy, here she goes, compared to a Press Taylor offense where there was one 5-man protection and that's it, it's going to be more pulling, more twisting, and perhaps not necessarily just bringing more bodies to the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I can't say I know that what they're going to do. I think they like their depth on the offensive line, which would lend to potentially bringing more of those guys into the fold. I think the run game, though, and the physical nature of it is also rooted in the detail of it. And that's what these guys are talking about, the different landmarks that they have to hit, the spots that these running backs, it's very detailed. And also, Trevor Lawrence says he's never had so many run plays in an offense ever before. So they have a lot of different looks from the run game, depending on what the defense is doing and giving them. So it could mean some added bodies. Obviously, Jags have 3 tight ends on the roster. They could bring those guys in as well. And then the last part of this for me is well, if you're going to be tough, if you're going to run the football, what about the backs? Well, you know this, Mia, from being around here all this offseason, they are really excited about what they've got in that running back room. And so far, it's probably the biggest curiosity going into the game Sunday. Who's going to get dressed for that game and be active? Are they going to keep 3 up or 4 up because they like those backs and what they've done so much?
Okay, so that's a really interesting talking point. Before we get back to your word to define the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars, Brent, which is physical. The 4 running backs, can you actually have 4 active on game day? Liam Cohen made some comments in Miami at the joint practice with regards to we maybe can carry 4, but we can't carry 4 on game day with only 48 players getting a jersey on game day, despite a 53-man active roster. I think they can carry 4. I remember Jaguars teams of the past that had a special teams demon, whether that was Dearness Johnson or someone else. Corey Grant, of course, comes to mind too. And they were able to carry 4 running backs depending on the matchup. You also add in, and I've heard this from a couple different people in the building, the flexibility of Travis Hunter, knowing that he fills a couple different roles. Do you think they can carry 4? I have long believed this whole offseason they will find a way to have all 4 of those guys eligible on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll always find a way for that. I tend to agree with you that I think they can, but I'm listening to the coach who's been super transparent, and he was pretty adamant, like it's damn near hard to give 4 guys a jersey in that running back room. But I think they have a couple of things in their favor. Travis Hunter being one, because he's one player that takes up 2 roster spots, essentially, because of both sides of the ball. I also think the fact that they only have 3 tight ends and they only have 5 receivers. Sometimes you carry a 6th receiver.
Right.
So only 5 receivers, 3 tight ends. It's not like you're getting heavy in one of those position groups. Therefore, you take away from the running back room. I just think it's a fascinating view from them because so many people believe that Bashal Tootin is the best back in the room. Yet he also could be the first guy they sit down in this week 1.
So that's who you're thinking. If they're going to sit anyone down, you think it's Tootin?
I'm not sold on it. I just think he could be because of the way these guys all split up their skill set. He's probably the weakest of the 4 on special teams. Now, they've been very happy with that. I don't want to make it sound like he's bad, but he's probably the weakest of who would play special teams like a Bigsby or LaQuinn Allen. And then obviously people overlook the pass pro stuff when it comes to running backs. Well, LaQuinn Allen's really good in it. So when you sit LaQuinn Allen to get the better running back on the field and take a chance in pass pro, I think is what it would come down to. And just how good is Tootin on special teams and how good can you use him? Obviously, from a kick return game, you can use him there, but you can also use Tank Bigsby there. So I just think it's a fascinating conversation. You could keep going around a table with Heath Farwell, your offensive staff, and I think you could come up with different variations of it. But in my mind, it's like, okay, well, they could actually sit a guy like Tootin, and then you'll have 10 people tell you that he's their best back in the room, which seems odd.
I am fascinated to see what happens, especially knowing, Brent, that the reality is if you've got Wyatt Milam potentially down on Sunday because he's working his way back from injury. I talked to Cole Van Lanen in the locker room yesterday. He says hi to everybody in the club. He's doing very well. Buster Brown is also on his way back from injury that held him out of most of training camp. If you've got that many guys who are down based off injury, I think that's where maybe you'll get a little bit more flexibility week 1 for that running back room. Before we let you go, you did do a one-on-one, correct me if I'm wrong, with someone else besides Trevor Lawrence. Tell us more. Tell us where we can find it.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence will have the sit down coming up this week, throughout the week, so pay attention to that. And then James Gladstone as well. We didn't sit down. We actually walked around Jags headquarters with James Gladstone. Want to do a little something different. Obviously, if you watch The Hunt and you watch some of the James Gladstone coverage, he likes to take the laps around the field, and that was where the actual Travis Hunter trade was culminated, around that field in a walk with him and Tony Baselli and on a phone. So we did the same thing and got to know James a little bit. We just pushed out on our show today about half of that interview, a little bit more of his leadership and where it comes from, his style. And then we'll get into the football stuff over the next couple of days. From a TV perspective, CBS 47, Fox 30, 7 o'clock on Friday night, Jags preview show. We'll have both of those interviews, but we'll continue to play it here on the network on the Brent and Austin show, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Over the next few days as well.
Before I truly let you leave the people with something. Leave them with, what are we going to talk about on Brent and Austin tomorrow from James Gladstone? What's a buzzword? What's the topic that maybe give a little bit of a scoop? We love scoops and ice cream on this show, Brent. Like give them a little something, a little tease looking into tomorrow.
Yeah, I like scoops more than ice cream. But I'll leave you with a question I asked James Gladstone, and how he answers it, you'll find out. But I said, did you need to say what you said after the draft? Like, this guy's going to change the game in Travis Hunter? Because so many folks, this is the way I phrased the question to him, so many folks kind of hit me up after that from around the league. Not so many, but a few from around the National Football League. And we're like, why did he say that? Like, why did he put that much more on this whole deal, even though everybody assumes it's already a big deal? And so you'll hear the response to that. And I really liked what he said about Liam Cohen. So those two things coming up tomorrow, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. on the Brent and Austin show.
As I've shared with people, Brent, I truly believe, because I've talked to James outside, and that I think that's just how he talks to his family. Like, I don't think that was hyperbole. I think that's who he uniquely is. And I appreciate him being his authentic self, just like he encourages everyone on the team and in the building to be their authentic self. Dell wants to know if you did get the ball from James during your walk-around interview at the Miller Electric Center.
I stayed away from the ball, but he didn't fumble the ball either, so that's a good sign. Ball security.
Hey, listen, regardless of who's in the backfield taking handoffs from Trevor Lawrence, we're going to need that ball security Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. Brent, thanks so much for hopping on the maiden voyage of Club 904. We'll do it again sometime.
All right, have a good rest of the show.
Thanks, Brent. Hey, when we come back, folks, we have the one, the only Mike Silver joining us live. You know you're not going to want to miss it. This is Club 904 on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 streaming channel.
Let's know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. my profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet's truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the series and season debut of Club 904. I am your host, Mia O'Brien, and I know why most of you are here. You are here, you are in the club, because you know this next guest is about to join us. The one, the only, Mike Silver of The Athletic. No one else I'd rather have along this maiden voyage to join us as our first national guest than The Athletic's very own. How are you, friend?
I'm great. Stoked to be in the club.
In the club and on camera, too, at 10:23 a.m. Pacific time. Of course, he's rocking the Cal shirt. I can't wait to hear about your quarterback, the fact that you have a quarterback. But the question in the club today, Mike Silver, is this. The 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars are blank. For those who may forget, Mike Silver had the unique position and distinct honor of being in the Jaguars war room during the 2025 NFL draft. And so I know you're going to answer this from a league-wide perspective, especially with the crazy travel tour you've been on covering all 32 teams. So yes, Mike, the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars are what?
I would say a great unknown, and that could be really cool. But there's a lot we don't know. Starting with the quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who is paid as though he is a transcendent franchise quarterback and is kind of in that middle zone that teams fear, where you've got a guy, you're paying him a lot. Now you have cap weaknesses. Is he going to be a Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, who can elevate to the point where those weaknesses recede? If not, you'd rather have an ascending guy on a rookie deal and load up around him like the 49ers did with Brock Purdy prior to this year. Obviously in paying Trevor Lawrence, that was the bet that he's that guy. New regime, new coach, Liam Cohen, who's done some great work with quarterbacks, and obviously some exciting new additions, starting with Travis Hunter. So once we see the actual Jags unveiled and see what it looks like, both sides of the ball, it'll be really revelatory.
So Brent Martineau just mentioned this when he was in the club with us, and I agree with it, and I know you definitely do. After James Gladstone's comments at Travis Hunter's introductory press conference, I feel like every radio and television personality in the country was hitting me up and saying, why does he talk this way? And they either said, A, he's awesome, or B, he's weird. What in all of your travels over the last 2 months has been the prevailing thought about the young nucleus that the Jaguars have in the C-suite?
Well, first of all, he'd just been spending a bunch of time with me. James had, after allowing me into the draft room. So maybe he just had a little bit more swag because of those interactions.
You're intangibly rich, so I'm here for that. Totally.
I am definitely intangibly rich. I am not tangibly rich. Although if this podcast blows up and you have me on a lot, maybe I can enhance my
I'll help you out. Don't worry.
fortune.
I got you.
And by the way, please buy my book, everyone. The Why is Everything, a story of football, rivalry, and revolution. It's awesome. It will not make me rich, but it will enrich my soul if more people read it.
It will enrich your understanding, too, of the Jaguars, for what it's worth. So I think that's where you're going with answering this question.
Yeah, you're the professional here, I could tell. But so, yeah, I think, I like the fact that James Gladstone has swag, right? I like that he's not coming in all mealy mouthed, like, well, we're just going to see, we're going to try to rebuild it. And like, for better or worse, he's going, man, we're going after it. And I also think that emanates from Tony Baselli, one of the people who hired him. Tony Baselli, remember, entered the league coming out of SC, first pick in franchise history. The team was supposed to suck. And he and his teammates were like, nope, not doing that. We're going to announce ourselves and make some noise right away. And obviously in year 2, playing in the AFC Championship game, hosting it 3 years after that. So it's a different mentality in that building for sure. And Liam Cohen, obviously the third part of that swag triangle. So what I've heard around the league about James Gladstone is, yeah, it's a little different. It's a little quirky. And in NFL culture, it's usually frowned upon to draw attention to yourself as a talent evaluator and all that. But some of the picks got some people's attention. A very respected NFL GM, one of the most respected, told me, yeah, he's a little different, and I'm not sure we'd be buddies, but he took some players that I wanted, and that has my attention. And so obviously, they will be judged by how they do on the field, but James Gladstone at least is not coming in meek.
Not coming in meek in the slightest. Mike Silver of The Athletic, kind enough to join us here on Club 904. Mike, with regards to Trevor Lawrence, because that's where you answered today's question, the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars are interesting, mysterious. In terms of the quarterback himself, I know there's belief, especially in the club and the comments here on this very show, and especially in Jacksonville. I don't know if the same can be said elsewhere around the league. Do you get a sense that, A, he is a different quarterback this year? He's approaching this differently. Did your conversations with people in Jacksonville lean you to think that way? And then B, is the perception of him nationally that, for lack of a better term, he stinks?
No, nationally, I don't think that's the perception.
Okay.
I think he's perceived as a guy who was the number 1 overall pick for a good reason and has shown us flashes for sure. Like you're down 27 points in a playoff game and you win, you get people's attention. So I don't believe that nationally people think this guy's not good. In fact, because partly because of draft bias and partly because of physical attributes, if you put Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence on the open market after last season and said you could pay one of them, I think more teams would have gone after Trevor Lawrence, whether justified or not. On the other hand, there is going to be a skepticism surrounding him because he hasn't been elevating since we saw that, really that playoff flash. And that could be certainly a circumstance that goes along with who his coaches have been, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously you start with Urban Meyer in the NFL. It's not exactly, laid out for you to thrive. So I think there's a lot of hope about Trevor Lawrence with Liam Cohen coming in, with the drafting of Travis Hunter, with Brian Thomas obviously busting out last season. I think the tight end has a lot of potential. And so, he'll have a chance to kind of recast that image. And I think if he comes out and plays really, really well, then people are going to say, oh, he finally got the right coach. They finally have the right operation. And this is the Trevor Lawrence we expected. But nobody really knows. I think for every time he looked really good in the preseason or in training camp, there were moments like in that joint workout with Miami where it was like, wait, is he not seeing it the way we want? And that is somewhat normal with a new coach, with a new offense. But the good news for him is that there does seem to be an emphasis on physicality. I think they're having hard practices. They're really feeling good about their ability to physically get after teams on both sides of the ball. And so you get that going, you get the running game going, you get play action. It can set the table for a lot of really good things.
Which brings us back to your book, The Why is Everything, which I think I have quoted on ESPN Radio. I've done 14 shows so far, and I think I've quoted it on almost every single one of them. Because this idea, I'm not just saying that too, I truly mean it. Because I do think, and especially the comments from Liam Cohen at the end of this past Monday's presser, so yesterday, if you're listening to this live, yesterday, when he said that coaches in this day and age, you cannot just give players a playbook and just say, it's this way because I told you so.
Yeah.
You have to say to them, it's this way, and let me explain why.
Yeah, and it's not just for the benefit of the player, although that is a huge benefit, but in explaining it and being able to explain it confidently as a coach, you are showing them that there is an ecosystem, there's a reason behind everything, and that means you don't just have plays on a sheet and you're picking off the menu like, that looks good. Maybe I'll try this run. It all goes together. There's a plan behind it. You are attacking the rules of the opponent. And then when they adjust, you have other options that are designed to counter that. And it's a counter move. And so when you have a system that is pliable and, more of an ecosystem, and you can evolve, and the players will appreciate that and understand the reasoning behind it, it just makes you a much more nimble coach. And that's not just week to week, that's quarter to quarter, series to series. And that's kind of what this book is about, this new wave of coaches, obviously starting with the Shanahan tree, and that came from Mike Shanahan. And so that's Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, who Liam Cohen trained under and adopted a lot from, Matt LaFleur, Mike McDaniel, who's now struggling in Miami, but 2 seasons ago dropped 70 and took a knee in an NFL game, and Raheem Morris, who's getting his second chance in Atlanta, and many, many other offshoots, including Kevin O'Connell, people who are at the forefront of the sport. So if you read the book, it'll give you a real understanding of that and how they think and how they've been trained. And I think the hope with Liam Cohen is he will have all that, but also there's a side of Liam Cohen that's kind of like, and we would like to hit you in the mouth and make you, cope with that. And so hopefully a melding of those two things is what's happening.
And that is why Mike Silver of the Athletics' word for the 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars is interesting. I'm being told our next guest, one of those Jacksonville Jaguars, is almost ready to join us. So, Mike, before we let you go, and thank you again for your time, go ahead. You have 20 seconds. Let us know why Cal is going to make the college football playoff this year.
Well, we're just taking it one glorious week at a time because we have a dude, a true freshman quarterback. His name is Jarrian Sangapolatele. You will learn it, even though it's multisyllabic. He's a dude. He can spin it. He's ours. We're going to keep him. We're going to build around him. Every day is a great day to be a Bear, but today especially, and all the days that follow this football season.
I can't wait till he's inevitably the quarterback at Alabama next year. Sorry.
Not going to happen. No one's do not touch our guy. OPP, not allowed with us.
Kalen DeBoer, if you're listening, Mike Silver says you are not allowed.
Kalen DeBoer is probably not going to be making that decision at this rate. So they should worry about their own issues.
That's true. Hey, I meant it. I said it, and it's true. No one else I'd rather have on this maiden voyage of Club 904 than the Athletics' Mike Silver. Go read his book. Go buy it. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I truly think if you want to understand the Jaguars, you need to read The Why is Everything.
And go Bears!
And go Bears! Thank you, Mike. There he goes, Mike Silver of The Athletic. Appreciate him hopping on this first ever episode of Club 904. Like I said, our next guest is ready to go. Jarrian Jones, defensive back for your Jacksonville Jaguars, going to join us live on the off day, coming up next here on the Action Sports Jags 24/7 channel.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with their inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
How do we make Mason's famous lobster rolls? It's simple. We get up before dawn, head into the open waters of Maine, haul in our traps by hand, and send only the best straight to our restaurants, where we add warm butter or chilled mayo with a squeeze of lemon and pile it on a toasted split-top roll, just like it's been done for nearly a century. That's the recipe for Mason's famous lobster rolls.
Thanks for meeting me here.
You okay?
You're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Okay.
You see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there?
Yeah.
That's all I paid for it. Do you know what you want?
Yeah. I think I do.
Enjoy your new car.
Feel what almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for $259 a month, or get 2.99% APR, or get $1,750 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Year 2 is in the books for the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 squad, taking another step forward in the Women's Premier Soccer League. Under the guidance of head coach David Goff, the girls in blue went undefeated at home for a second straight season, including a dramatic draw in the opener.
And they've left it to the death. Unbelievable stuff.
And a late winner to end the season at home.
Headed on. Here's a chance. Gianna Ramirez brings it down, still alive, takes a shot, and into the back of the net.
After fielding a younger roster in 2025 with talent from all across Northeast Florida, the future is bright for the Armada women's team. We highlight the ladies and all things Jacksonville Armada each week on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
There we go. Let's turn the microphone back on, O'Brien. Welcome back to Club 904. It is your one-stop shop for all things Jacksonville Jaguars and NFL in Duval County. Nobody better, besides Mike Silver, our most previous guest, and Brent Martineau, the guest before then, to make this maiden voyage with us on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 channel than our friend, the one and only Jarrian Jones, Jacksonville Jaguars defensive back. Clap it up for him. He's in the club. Nobody better. How you doing, Jarrian?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Hey, listen, I appreciate you hopping on a Tuesday off day at the crib, and welcome to the club. We've got tons of people commenting right now. They're so excited to see the dub in Club 904, but you've got some business to take care of before you answer today's question of the day, because you were boots on the ground. You were doing a little reporting for us. You didn't realize it, but you were at Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man, that was a great experience to be there and see, because I know, you know what I'm saying, what they went through last year, and I know, you know what I'm saying, like what Norvell put into it. So to see how they bounced back, and you know what I'm saying, how they went about their business this week, I was excited to see it. And, you know, everybody had something to say about Florida State. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, felt how they felt. Well, we back.
They're back. And I think what's interesting, because I knew you wanted to get your Knowles love out there, and that's why I told you to come on the show, so we could certainly do that. But I think what you just said, you know how much Mike Norvell put into this. I think we can liken that to what your head coach now in Liam Cohen, and how this Jacksonville Jaguars executive team is approaching this season and beyond. Let's start with the coach part of it. What did Mike Norvell put into it that the best coaches at both the collegiate level and the professional level right now do well?
I think his attention to detail, and I think he, like, you know, you can, like, it's some coaches, like, I'm not gonna, like, obviously all coaches kind of care. Like, all coaches care about what's going on in their building. They care about, you know what I'm saying, their organization, their players, you know, everyone within it. But like when it comes to Norvell, like he acts like it's like he feels strongly and a lot about certain things. And when I first got to Florida State, he used to always say like we were similar, because like I was emotional, but not in the sense of like sad. It was always like I would get really, really angry. Like I would get really, really angry when stuff didn't go my way, or like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I put a lot of stuff, like I put a lot of work into it. And so he would always tell me like, he would always tell me stuff like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's not always gonna go your way. Like everything's not gonna always go your way, but you gotta be able to live with the fact that you put everything into it, and then from there the ball may swing wherever it may. You know, and he puts countless hours like into this. Like he is like one of the most like enthusiastic type of coaches like I've ever played for. Like he feels very, very, very strong about his beliefs and his players and his team, and he's a big like family, you know what I'm saying, oriented guy. And I think Liam is kind of like in the same way. Like he feels strongly about what he has going on. You can see like he actually cares. You know what I'm saying? He wants us to be like to come more together and to be more of like a family type feel.
Right. And so I'm going to jump around a little bit here because I think it kind of connects. I'm curious what your answer is to today's question of the day on Club 904, Jarrian Jones. The 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars are blank because from what you just described, and not to answer the question for you, I think the word is competitive, or at the very least, that's who you are. And I know that's who Mike Norvell is, and perhaps Liam Cohen is as well.
The 2025 Jaguars are competitive and hungry.
Which
I
is that
think,
edge that you and I have talked about before.
exactly, and and Liam talks about the edge all the time, but that was the thing that Norvell used to talk about every day. He was like, the edge is what makes you living with the edge, playing with the edge, speaking with the edge. Everything you do has to be about the edge. You know what I mean? And like now that I'm playing for Liam and what I'm saying, I hear him talk and I hear his beliefs and stuff like that. Like they're similar, like they're very, very similar. And like those are things I believe. You should always play, walk, talk, act, everything should be with a feeling of conviction. Like it should be like, yes, like I don't care what you think, I don't care what you say, but this is this. You know
This
what I'm
is
saying?
who
So
I
I feel like
am.
I feel you should play like that. Be that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna be that, I don't care if you like if you I don't care if you're the worst person in the world. If you're gonna be that, just be that every day.
Right. Be who you are and stand on business, which I said we're going to bounce around a little bit. We're going to go back and forth between FSU, your experience Saturday at the game at Doak Campbell Stadium, but also, of course, the upcoming Jaguar season. Tommy Castellanos and the quote, because I hadn't caught up with you. Or maybe it was like right after OTAs when that article came out. When you first saw that he said what he said to On3 about Saban is not coming to save them, what was your reaction?
I can ride with that. I can
Okay.
ride with it. Like I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, like in the league, they're so big on like not giving bulletin board material and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But I mean, if my quarterback goes out there and say that, man, let's do it. I mean, I'm with my guys. I'm pro my guys. So if my guys say this is what we doing, this is what we doing. And you know what I'm saying? If I don't like it, we can just talk about it later. But like in front of everybody else, this is what we doing.
So to that point, what Tommy said afterwards when people said, I cannot believe you said that. And obviously that was prior to Florida State beating Alabama by 2 touchdowns. He said that he had to say it because he had to set the tone and he had to show a team that won just 2 games last year that they should be confident too.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, you could take the Florida State out of it. What is that role in perhaps more vocal players on a team? And maybe you've seen it at the NFL level, like a vocal player being like, I'm going to say something or I'm going to do something that maybe rocks the boat a little bit, but it's because I have that conviction and because I do want my teammates to see they should have that confidence too.
It was somebody that came and spoke to the team yesterday, day before yesterday. And I forget exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of like, some people may call you crazy, they can call it whatever they want, but sometimes your belief and how strongly you feel about some stuff, you may be standing alone. You know what I'm saying? And in that particular situation, a team that went 2-10, maybe I wasn't in the locker room with them, but they may not have that much confidence or however it may be. And for your quarterback to come out and say that and set the tone as that, you have you have no choice because the quarterback is usually, it's easy to rally behind a quarterback. Like if your quarterback comes out and he's setting the tone of how we're gonna be, this is what this team is gonna be. He is the driver of the truck or the bus or however you want to call it. Like he is the motivating factor in this. So if my quarterback is the one saying we jumping out and this is what we doing, or we jumping out and this is what we doing, I'm not gonna ask no questions. This is how we doing it. So I think him just setting that tone, and you see it across the league, college, NFL, whatever. The quarterback is usually the one that sets the tone for everything that's going on. Take offense and defense out of it. Just as a person on the team, the quarterback is the guy.
I love what you said, though, about what this guest speaker said to you guys at the Jaguars facility about sometimes you may have to stand alone. But if you stand for what you believe in, then nothing else matters because you have that conviction you have that edge. Jarrian, I've got a couple more questions for you, but because this is the club, we answer questions live. We've got some questions. We got some comments for you. DJ Dell says he needs to start tweeting with an edge. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Jarrian. Tweeting with an edge.
I think tweeting with the edge is a good thing, and it may not. And I'm not promoting tweeting wild things, but like, some of those confident thoughts that you have in your head, like putting pen to paper. Like you may tweet and just be like, "Today is gonna be a good day," and put "gonna" in bold. You know what I'm saying? Just giving yourself them thoughts. I mean, tweeting with your edge may be a good thought because you don't have to tweet for everybody else. Like it could be for your own personal. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and that's probably a good segue to the next guy I wanted to ask you about your relationship with Jordan Lewis, who is known to tweet a thing or two. But I think it's so unique because you posted something too for his birthday, just about like what it has meant to you prior to him even joining the Jags, like having that mentor figure and having that big brother. Just describe even prior to, oh my God, now he's going to be my teammate for actually like for real, like what that means to you.
For me, coming off my rookie year, like I wanted to become like coming to my second year, like I wanted to be more of a pro. You know what I'm saying? Coming from Florida State, I feel like I had good habits, but like I want everything to be detailed in a certain way of, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's the only way you're gonna grow. Like I don't want to come into year two doing the same things I did year one. Like I'm gonna play like year one, but I'm not. My year one was good, but I don't want to be like just doing the same thing every year. Like I want to elevate. And I think having him come was kind of like forcing it in a sense, because like there is no room for me to slack. He's on me about everything. Like this whole summer I was with him, and he called it Gladiator School, and we will run like every like Wednesday and Thursday we will run 3 miles. Like he had me doing some of the craziest stuff I ever seen, and I came back to camp like feeling the best I've ever felt. So I think just having him is kind of like forcing me to be a pro, like be exactly what I set out to say I wanted to be. Like we watch a lot of film together. Like he's on me about like my daily everything, how I interact with people in the building, how I talk. Like he's trying to sharpen up like my just everything about me. He's kind of changing. So I think having him is kind of like I got a big brother, I got an uncle, I got a coach, I got everything like all in one. And then it also doesn't hurt it that like we actually really close.
Right. And you were already close, which is where there
Yes.
was already kind of that built-in relationship.
And so it's
Which
kind of
brings
easy to listen to him because like if we were like say we were in a game and like say I messed up something and he jumped down my throat, like I wouldn't be like I wouldn't take that no way because like I respect you, brother. Like if you say that's what it is, it's like I got to be better. Like you know what I'm saying? I got to be better. Like, and I think that's what you need on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like that real brotherhood to where if my brother tell me I'm tripping, like I should better listen to that and not get mad about it and be like, I need to lock in.
open and honest communication because everyone has a growth mindset.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And I think that that's like the thing for me. And I'm slightly biased perhaps because I have some friends who worked with the Rams when Liam was there. And so I know where a lot of that growth mindset talk comes from. And I'm trying to embrace it myself. I mean, you should see, dude. I mean, I got like so many friggin' leadership books now. Like here's where is it? The Go Givers, my current obsession. Go check that one out, folks, if you're looking for more growth mindset reads. But Jarrian, one other name I want to hit to that point of you already had a previous relationship with, because I don't think people truly know. You and Travis go back. And that kind of probably brings it full circle to the Florida State conversation. But for you, what is that relationship like now? Because you knew him when he was a 17-year-old, 16-year-old kid being recruited by Florida State. And now here he is.
Me personally, I think he acts the exact same. Like when I met him when he was 16, he was acting like a kid. And I met him I think he's 22 now. He still acts like a kid. Like he still acts like he's just waking up every day and just living. Like it just he doesn't really have a bad day. He just wakes up and just let's go to practice. Like let's go play football. I think it's good that he thinks that way because like he's still having fun. Like he's still enjoying what he's doing. And everybody say what they want to say on the internet or whatever it is, but like I don't think he like pay attention to it at all. I don't think it affects him at all. And like me knowing him at 16 and the conversations we've had and the stuff he was telling me that he wanted to do and he set out to do, and to see him actually go do it, I was kind of like, Yeah, bro. Like, hats off to you, brother. Like, you really did that. And we used to keep in contact when he was in college. Cause I knew he was going to Jackson State early. I kind of knew he was going early, and then when he went to Colorado, we was text and like chop it up with each other. He made a play against TCU where he picked the wheel on the mesh, and he picked the wheel off. I texted him. I was like, "Yo, yo, this is insane." You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I'm so happy that what I'm saying he came to the Jaguars, and what I'm saying we get to continue that. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I catch him on the sideline and he'll tell me this about my technique. Then I'll go tell him like, "Hey man, don't run that route like that. I'm gonna jam you up." Like, you know what I'm saying? Just playing back and forth. Like, what I'm saying? We got a good relationship.
A good relationship there. A good relationship with our listeners in the club too. They're loving you. I've got all the FSU accounts that are reposting. Jarrian, before we let you go, I know you debuted a YouTube channel earlier this summer, so I want to give you a chance to plug that and anything else before we get you out of the club.
Of course, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Jarrian Jones. I'm trying to, I feel like the Jaguars don't really have I feel like the market for the Jags is kind of small, like in the media, you know what I'm saying, a sense of it, so I think with my YouTube, I just want to give them like an inside look. 'Cause nobody really asks or wants to see like the inside look of like the Jaguars because like we have like a small market. So like I feel like the more eyes I can get on us, I feel like the better it is like for the team. You know what I'm saying? So like that was kind of like the reasoning behind me starting a YouTube, and just like they could just see like I don't just wake up and do this. Like this is like I really put a lot of time, you know what I'm saying, into this. So I think that was the thing behind me starting YouTube. But please go subscribe to it. I got a lot of stuff coming for everybody. I'm trying to take y'all through the entire season with me.
Love it. And of course, you are always welcome here in the club. Tuesdays, especially given that you're off. We know you're locked in other days of the
Yes,
week
ma'am.
and ready to rumble on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. Appreciate you
Yes,
hopping on
ma'am.
with us in the club 904, Jarrian Jones. We'll see you soon this week, buddy.
Yes, ma'am.
That is the one, the only Jarrian Jones. We appreciate him hopping on this inaugural episode of Club 904. Be sure to check out all of the programming at the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 streaming channel. And of course, we will be back on Thursday. We'll have some guests from behind enemy lines up in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, previewing the Jaguars' Week 1 matchup with the Carolina Panthers. Again, in case you missed it off the top, be sure to also subscribe to the Mo Bryan NFL Notebook on Patreon. The link is available right here below us if you want to type that into your URL. You also can find it on my Twitter page at Mia O'Brien TV. Hope you enjoyed hanging out in the club because we're going to be doing it each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Sometimes I'll be here. Sometimes I'll be with Brent and Austin hanging out at Main HQ. And of course, Sundays, 9:04 p.m., win or lose. I know y'all are going to have something to say about it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you back here on Thursday.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet.
Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table.
Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out First Florida.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with their inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.